I'm telling you, this seems like console. There's no shake in the mouse. It is moving very slowly for a top 500 lobby, or even if they turn out to be top 500 console or something. I definitely can see where I can improve. All right, so allegedly we have a top 500 Zarya Sigma Diva player who sent me a couple of codes. This one I chose. It's a little bit shorter. The goal for me is to learn some of the habits that a higher level Zarya plays that I definitely don't, because I'm not there. Otherwise, I would be there, right? Just common sense kinds of things. I did take a little bit of a peek into this for a couple of reasons. One, this came from a chatter on Twitch who had a different name on the Twitch display. It was Saker HD, or XD, excuse me. And they said that the account they were on is called Arcades. So I'm a little thrown off. I'm wondering if this might be an alt. I also was not able to find this in the top 500 tanks NA, so I don't know if they're in another region. I'm also wondering if they may be on console based on some of the movement that I was watching for the last little bit. Either way, what I want to look for is just some habits that maybe I think have won them fights that I would not have done and could learn something from. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. All right, we're officially in where we've used a bubble. Why did we use a bubble already? What did I miss there? Okay, it was Wu Yang damage coming through. Okay, got nearly max charge. It might actually be mouse and keyboard. I don't know. So far, I'm not seeing anything like super obvious that I wouldn't have done in that fight. I mean, I would have dropped down here and chased. So I'm not sure if that was the right move or not, but okay. Okay. I noticed the right click first. Yeah, the right clicks are something that like I'm noticing a lot. Like I tend to spam them like a Sigma poke primary fire, and that's not necessarily a bad thing in itself, but it does seem like this person leads with the right click and ends with the right click. Very much to get that initial burst, beam, and then hopefully finish the kill. And also as they run out of ammo, they get that last one in there. Okay, they have 1 ammo left. They got the kills here, sure. I do think this is console. I am going to throw that out there. And I hope that's not insulting if you happen to be watching this. Shaker. I always get it's Saker. Sorry. I hope that doesn't come across insulting, but it is moving very slowly. For a top 500 lobby, this seems really slow. But you're whipping around, so maybe, I don't know. I'm a little confused, a little distracted by that. And I don't have a contact info for this person besides their Twitch, so I can't just reach out and ask. Okay, little right clicks for the poke. Again, so far nothing I'm seeing that's outlandishly different. Okay, I'll be honest, I would have, and this is not that I'm saying this is the right decision, but when this happened here, this move, right here, backing up, I actually would have, when the Mauga goes in, which is not yet. So the Mauga goes in, I would have chased this, which is stupid, because I would have turned my back to the entire team, and what am I really doing? Nothing. So I appreciate that they actually just walk around this side here, allowing them to still get supported by their team, and then they come over here for better positioning. That's good. That's good. Okay, we play aggressively with this here. Yep, the right click leads. I'm noticing that a lot more. Interesting that we don't chase the Mauga, okay. Good bubble for sure. I would grab here. I wonder if they're going to. Okay. No, they get touch here, unfortunately. Good bubble. We're gonna beam, keep beaming, keep beaming, keep beaming, keep beaming. But yeah, you gotta Kiri. I know that he was low. I have to wonder if maybe the better decision there might have been to swap targets, but I know I would have, because if he's getting pocketed by a Kiri, there's no killing a Mauga. particularly with cardiac still up. Yeah, I would have done that too, just get a little extra charge, but actually I'm starting to wonder if that's the right decision. A lot of right clicks. Yeah, we get an elimination there from that like right click thing that they actually identified in my games today. They were like, hey, if you right click at the beginning, right click at the end, you'll get that initial burst, then you beam them, and then you get a burst at the end. It's very likely you'll get more kills that way. So that may be a habit worth building. Okay, still not using a bubble. I would have used a bubble here. Okay. Playing a lot more aggressively than I would have here. Okay, so he's in. Okay. Yeah, you just cap point here for sure. Okay, good round. I think the biggest thing that I'm like noticing that I don't do, there were several things that they did that I would have done, and there are several bubbles I would say that I noticed that I don't know that I love. Would love to understand the thought process behind it a little bit more, because and at least on the surface they looked like they were very rushed. Not generally, but there's a couple of them specifically that I could have pointed out, but I don't want to say super hyper fixated on a criticism of this player because I am not at their level. But I will say that that was kind of odd. The one thing that I am really heavily taking away, I think, is the thing that they wanted me to take away from this, which is to right click at the beginning and right click at the end to secure kills more consistently. So let's get into the next round and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm telling you, this seems like console. There's no shake in the mouse, like none. Like low sends for sure if it's not mouse or if it's not controller. But like when they do the right click jumps and they pull their crosshair back up to like a head height, it just stops on a dime. So that's interesting. Yeah, I would have used my bubble a lot earlier there, and I think that would have been a mistake on my part, so that's cool. Yeah, look at this target priority. I would have dropped down here. That would have been poor decision. I would have chased the Mauga. Didn't need to. Okay. So that's another thing I'm noticing. I'll go ahead and take the time to point out, and I'll go ahead and back it up just a tiny bit as well, is when I kind of called it was right here. So they stay up top here. They get the Cassidy. And now this Hanzo is completely on his own. Try to right click to finish it, but staying up there is something I wouldn't have done. And like I said, I would have chased this Mauga down too, but instead we let our teammates do that, and we are able to then go grab point. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm tracking. Go ahead and fast forward a bit, save some time. Okay. Wow, we get some good charge. Did we have charge before that? A little bit, maybe? Yeah, we did. Okay, I'm just dense. So we got, I think, 20 charge from that bubble right off the rip. No, like, yeah, almost 30, actually. And I would have used my second bubble. He's not doing that. A lot more disciplined with his bubbles. Okay, here's Bastion turret form, takes cover. Very killable, has another bubble, can kill the Rhine. Okay. Yeah, wow, okay. Okay. Yeah, the right clicks especially. I'm definitely noticing that a lot more. A lot more. Like, even if this person turns out to be top 5, not top 500, or even if they turn out to be, you know, top 500 console or something, I definitely can see where I can improve. Unfortunate that our team overextends there, but that's okay. Did the spawn door challenge. Okay, unfortunate. Not much you do there. You could have tried to walk back, but like, I think you just die there. It's not the worst thing. And again, I'm not trying to be critical or arrogant of a top 500 player when I am not myself there, but I'm just saying I definitely would have backed out a lot sooner. And I do think it's important, now that I'm really kind of processing that out loud, is I do think it's important to identify things I would have done differently as we go, and then identify whether that would have been a better or worse decision. And I think that in some of these, there would have been some slightly better decisions made, And I could almost guarantee you this player would agree with a few of the bubbles. I'd be curious to see the average charge this game. And the other thing is, if it is something that I could have changed, that I would have done worse if I had done it differently, I maybe lost the fight, it's another way for me to identify something to do better. See, like that bubble right there, I think the idea was good, but it just didn't really work. Okay. Yep, we use our bubble. Probably could have right-clicked to kill both of those a little sooner, I would think, but... What's that Hanzo doing? We're sure this is top 500? This does not seem like a top 500 lobby, I will say. Nope, yep, you're off the map. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I've been there, done that many times. The one thing I will say that I learned is to right-click. When you're right up against the edge of the map there, right-click and hit yourself, so the last person that damaged you is yourself. It denies them the ult charge of that kill, from what I've been told, so. Oh, we went Doom for the touch, I guess. We're gonna skip a little bit here. I mean, I'm not trying to review gameplay from Doomfist. Okay, are we on Doom the rest of the game here? Looks like they end up winning, but do they just stay on Doom? Yeah, they stay on Doom. Okay, so basically what I'm going to go ahead and take away from this then, regardless, I mean, I've got some question marks for sure on the, are we really in a top 500 lobby here? Are we on PC? That definitely is something I'm not. I'll go out on a limb here and say I'm willing to bet this is an alternate account. They're on console and their top 500 achievement is on console, which is different than PC. It's much slower, just objectively. Doesn't mean that nothing transfers. The game concepts and fundamentals are still the same. So it's still learnable, or like something I can learn from. Maybe learnable is not the right way to phrase that. My fundamental takeaway from this is to do more right clicks to try and get that burst damage up, and then also to be more patient with my bubbles. Because a couple of times when the Malga ran in or the Reinhardt charged and then went to pin you, I would have used bubble to get the charge off of the impact into the wall. And thinking about it, a lot of good Reinhardts will just stop. They'll actually pull, they'll cancel their pin, so they don't give you that charge, rather than having the bubble at the end of that, so that then you can use that and pressure them back. So that is one big key thing I noticed that is a little nuanced, but I do run into that a lot, where I use a bubble early for things like a Reinhardt pin, a Malga stomp, even like a flux sometimes from Sigma. There's a few abilities like that I kind of do them too early, I'm noticing. The other thing, though, and the big thing that I will start adding into my game as much as I can think about it, is to right-click initially, beam in between, and right-click at the end, especially as your clip begins to run out and is below 25, because you still get that. And a lot of people have told me that, by the way. This is not the first time I've heard it. I'm just seeing it applied a bit better, and it's a little easier for me to process. So, really good stuff from this player. Regardless of the nuances, I will invite any of you that are watching this right now, if you are a top 500 Zarya, Sigma, or Diva player, and you have a match that is for any of those three heroes, I do want to start learning a bit more from upper level players. But what I'm going to ask going forward is that you show me where you are on the leaderboard with the account. I want that game to be from that account, and then we can review it a little bit differently, I think. This one was just kind of a testing the water to see what everybody thinks of the content. I think it'll be helpful. I know it'll help me just doing the review, but we'll see if the content actually helps other people. Appreciate you guys watching. Do all the things, like, subscribe, the normal stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.